Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining today. Like, it's so lovely to see so many familiar faces and lots of new ones. I work with Ed on the East Coast Committee, and I'm really passionate about mindfulness and trying to find new ways to help us get through this awful pandemic. So really wanted to set up a wellbeing series, as it feels like at the moment we all need a lot more support and some positivity and a lot more laughter right now. So I'm a huge fan of Laraaji's music, and I was lucky enough to discover some of his laughter and meditation work. And today we have an amazing man I'm really happy to welcome, called Frank Fitzpatrick, who's going to moderate the session. We chose Frank to do this because he's got a really long history in the music industry. He's a social entrepreneur. He's a wellness expert. He's worked with creative visionaries like Miles Davies and Herbie Hancock. He's been a former delegate for the United Nations. He's got 30 years of experience of yoga, meditation, and healing. He's incredible. He also uses music and creativity to transform their lives. So I'm going to hand over to Frank, and I hope you will enjoy the workshop. Keep your cameras on, and we're going to do a bit of a Q&A at the end. We'll just send some questions into the chat.
Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, everybody. It's great to see members of our Guild community. I've been a member since the beginning, and I want to recognize Rebecca and Ed and the committee that's doing the wellness programs. I think it's really, really critical. You know, I've spent 30 years as a music supervisor and composer and filmmaker, and I know the stresses, even when we're not in COVID, how intense that can be. And so I think it's really beautiful that we have this amazing guest today to give us some tools and some inspiration, and we have ways to get through some of these more challenging times, because it's really essential. And this is a really great community, and I appreciate everybody who's committed to holding each other up and trying to help us stay balanced in a fairly imbalanced industry, if I may say. So, and right now in a pretty disruptive world. So, I'm going to dive into introduce our guest, who this radiant being exemplar in bright color, and that you're going to hear from shortly, Laraaji, and who Rebecca, I believe, brought to us. Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Laraaji. So Laraaji is, I'll do my best on this, buddy, is a musician, a mystic, a laughter meditation guide from New York, based in New York. He first grew up playing gospel and church music in the 50s. He's been around just a little longer than me, but not much. And listening to jazz and R&B, he went on to study music at Howard University, has played the legendary Apollo Theater, and even did a stint as a stand-up comedian in the New York club circuit. So talk about stress. In the mid-70s, he had a spiritual awakening where he traded in his guitar for an auto harp, and was discovered by Brian Eno while playing in Washington Square Park, which resulted in the widely recognized release Ambient 3, Day of Radiance, released in 1980. Since then, Laraaji has gone on to create a number of his own recordings and has appeared on recordings with the likes of Pharoah Sanders, Bill Laswell, Jonathan Wilson, and others. His long and winding journey has led him to have these incredible insights at this intersection that we're going to address today and experience, which is this mystical intersection of music, laughter, and meditation. And not only is it mystical, but it's also, all of these have very strong scientifically proven benefits to your brain and to your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system to help you through stressful times. So this is not only an enjoyable hour we're going to spend together, but you'll have some real tools to take away, and some fun ones to use in your life. So we are grateful to have Laraaji share some of those insights and give you the opportunity to experience one of his laughter meditations. He and I are going to have about a 10-minute conversation, and then we're going to go let him lead us in this experience. We'll come back for a Q&A, so be sure, if you're going to share your questions, to put them in the chat, so Levi can help us sift through them, and we'll address them at the end. So stick around. And thank you everybody for showing up. And Laraaji, welcome.
Hey Frank, thank you so much. Thank everyone. Thank the technicians. Thank the field. Thank the ethers. Thank all the seen and unseens. Thank the ancestors. Whoa,
That's a beautiful. So I have a couple of questions for you, and more of a discussion. So feel free to bring up anything that comes to you. And can you hear me okay, first of all?
yes, fine. How am I doing?
Great. So, like I said, just to introduce you with, you have this many years of experience that have had you bring together laughter, music as a musician and a recording artist, and laughter not only as a comedian, but as a practitioner of these meditations and meditation itself and mindfulness to achieve these incredible levels of presence and to overcome a lot of obstacles you've been through. And how do these tools actually help you? I mean, and how have they helped you to get through really challenging times and to stay, in your vital, joyful self that you have, how can you touch on that a little bit? That would be great.
I think that the bliss body is the main thing, how to get back into our bliss body. I consider our fundamental default position for our being is I think of it as bliss, and that the bliss body is here and we can access it through laughter, through meditation, through dance, and I feel that working inwardly with laughter, I found out that using a playful attitude with these laughter exercises, it's also allowed me to become more playful in my musical improvisation. So the laughing lightens up my approach to musical improvisation. And I believe that the laughter that I use is inwardly mobile. So it's working on areas of the body, within the body. And so we're actually self-loving ourselves through sound, using sound to say hello to ourselves. And we may have been distancing ourselves by sending our voice out all the time to othernesses. And with these laughter exercises, we use it to buddy up with ourselves, to bring it in, to be tender and massage and stimulate ourselves.
Awesome.
And touch ourselves appropriately, and we just become just full of selfness. It's self-absorbed laughter. But there's a method to it. I mean, if you want to practice these in an airport terminal, people will ask what you're doing. You tell them it's an inward practice. You're actually focusing the voice into the brain, into the thyroid, into the heart, into the abdominal organs, into the lungs, and you're having a very yummy, intimate rapport, light-filled rapport, because the language of laughter is so light-filled. Light-filled because we've released the density of language, linear language, released some of the tensions in the body and in the emotional body. So that the exercise of laughter lends itself to music. It also lends itself to staying in a lighter place and to remember not to get bent out of shape about what's going on in the world. Also, going along with laughter, in some workshops, I introduce crying meditation so that we can start to feel not only the anguish and the depressions on the planet, but that we can not feel that we're running away from it when we get into our laughter. So we own that, and then we come into laughter, and we work with it to take us into deep states of relaxation, and that's where the meditation comes in. After a good laughter release, we're in a place of near Shavasana in yoga. There's a corpse pose, the very ending pose, where the body is relaxed, lying flat on the floor like a corpse, and your breath is relaxed, your mind is released from intense linear mental information, and you are perhaps ready to spontaneously watch as a meditative presence and be just present. And if we can accomplish this every morning, through a laughter meditation, I say that we give ourselves a wonderful connection into our bliss body. So we bring our bliss body into the mix whenever we're reading the news headlines or on the phone. So not to leave our bliss body, come as our bliss body into everything that we're doing, as and I remind everybody, wherever you go, take your as with you. Be as your bliss body. Not go toward the light, go as light. And these laughter exercises help us to make it real, to lighten up, loosen up, let it go, let it flow.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It's we sometimes look at laughter as just this kind of playful experience, but at the same time, I love how you alluded to what it actually does within the mind, within the system, that, in a state of real laughter, it's very similar to being in a state of what we might call samadhi, or the brain, the way the brain is disassociates from pain, the way that you're able to deal with different situations, the neurochemicals that are released. So it's very much like a meditation, or like we can achieve through music, and the combination that you put together is really, it's really quite beautiful in the way you describe it. Can you just give us an experience of, some people are going through some pretty rough times, and like I said, it's a bit of a grind sometimes, this business, and when you add COVID and the situation. So can you tell us how some of these practices have helped you overcome name a challenge in your life? Have you come to them through that, or have you they came out of, just your experiences, or did they come out of your growth from challenge?
Growth from challenge is one, but when I stress meditation, or to practice reaching for what you think is equal to meditation, is reaching for the foundation that is predates this century, predates this millennium. So that, tapping into our eternal continuum of consciousness. And when we leave that out, we're just dead meat in the water for anything to happen to us and come pick us up and bring us out and shake us up and kick us and boot us around.
And they will, won't they?
Use our breath and our trained memory to get back in alignment.
Right.
And we can carry that alignment. Sometimes it may take a few seconds to remind us how to get back to it. Some of us can use movement. We practice encoding our bliss body into our movement, so that if we're in the midst of hysteria, we can just secretly just bring ourselves back into alignment. Of course, if you have to run, but the idea is find your techniques. And mine is movement, breathing, learning how to listen to the breath so that the breath lightens it up. And through meditative practice, learning how to navigate our way back into alignment with that subtle place, the space, the watcher, the spirit self, and to not kick it out of our lives. It is what we can use right now. It's the most wonderful thing to have going for you when we're going through transition.
That's great. Beautiful. Thank you. Well, maybe, I'm going to ask this next question, or share this next idea and get your reaction on it, but maybe it'll be part of our experience more than it'll be an intellectual answer. But in terms of, a lot of people here work on film, television, programming, music, and a lot of it's comedies. I've done so creating media and watching media, we react with laughter, right? And so a lot of people, it would seem to me, have learned to come to a place of laughter by reaction.
Yes.
But coming to a place of laughter by having the capacity or understanding it as a tool that you can evoke within yourself in any situation in a sincere and meaningful and beneficial way is very new to some people. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes. And my experience is that when we practice doing this, we can get to a place where we can do it in public very subtly. We don't have to make a big spectacle of it. And
we don't have to get dragged away to the funny house.
Depends on what's at the funny house.
Sorry. My bad. We won't go there.
About real people in real jobs, real situations, and maybe in a 9-to-5 situation, and they're in a lock situation. So what do you do? What are the tools you can use? One, we know in yoga, you use your breath. Learn how to train to slow your breath down. Also, if there's anxiety on the breath and you don't feel like slowing it down, there's something called nervous laughter, but we can switch nervous laughter into diaphragmic breathing laughter, where we use our diaphragmic breathing to generate that particular kind of laughter. We also, body language, body language. In the morning before getting out of bed, these exercises should help to set an edge on your day and to soften, to be available for more laughter, and to see more humor in the day that you didn't see was there. And if you are traveling solo in your days these days, isolation, then how to use your voice to say hello to yourself and to feel your conscious presence really active in your body, so you're not alone. But maybe you're alone, but you're not lonely. But you feel so you're using sound, and you say laughter is the shortest distance between two people. So you can actually collapse this sense of being isolated during a good, rich laughter experience. Other tools, I'd say, play, learning how to play with where you are, provided it doesn't jeopardize someone's life. You learn how to play, and then we explore play as a spontaneous exploration of sensation. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can stop and notice some sensation that's going on in the air, the body, your water, something you're interacting, and just play with it a few seconds, and the spontaneous exploration of the sensation of interacting with it. And that's a way of getting into your inner child. And there's a tool. There's a tool that's waiting to be brought back into the picture. Getting into your inner child, who knows how to let the play zone rip and roar. So getting into the play zone, getting into our inner child, getting into our water body, getting into the bliss and breath body, and bringing our voice into our own presence and just resonate ourselves.
And can you give? That's awesome. And you covered. Yeah, I don't have to ask many questions. It's more like you're kind of covering everything. It's beautiful. And can you share? Again, I asked just like an example for yourself of just facing something that just like would typically have just kind of kicked your ass. Pardon the phrase, but you were able to kind of tap into this to in a life situation to bring you back.
There was one situation where I was in San Francisco, visiting from New York, going to San Francisco to do a series of performances. One of them was a laughter workshop, and it's supposed to start at 7:30. And at 7 o'clock, I had made the wonderful decision to call my sweetie pie back east to say hello, and she told me, "It's over."
Wasn't so funny at the time, was it?
No. It's over. Well, I'm seeing someone. It's escalating. I said, "Oh, okay. All right. Well, I got a laughter workshop to do right now." No. So I gently hung up, and I took a few deep breaths, and then I went down and conducted this laughter workshop and got into it in a way and watched how all that I thought was stress, anxiety, and issues just disappeared to where I don't know. And that was one of the deepest experiences of my work on myself. It's learning how to reverse what could have been a whammy. Get a whammy a half hour before you go do a laughter workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. That's a perfect example. I'm sure a lot of people on this call can, are going into their biggest presentation, and something goes miserably wrong, and it could happen daily, and then COVID goes miserably wrong, and so that's great. Yeah, it's like, and now, anything special about COVID other than what you expressed already?
No, except that I remember that during laughter and meditation, we get to a place of being less identified with the physical body. Therefore, we're less overly identified with the affairs of the body. It doesn't mean we abandon the body, but we bring back into the mix an awareness of a bliss body, an infinite cosmic presence body. And this helps us to at least walk in a little better balance. Of course, if something's staring us in the face, like a challenge you call COVID, and it's staring you in the face, you should have practice learning how to breathe, how to remember that this is the body, I'm not the body. This is thought flowing, I'm not the thought flowing. And that's more of like a spiritual student devotee exercise. But you could call it radical, but Radical times call for radical measures.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, there's no, it's like, what do we say? Talking about music is like singing about architecture. It's like, there's no better way to have a meditation than to do a meditation. So
Yes.
I want to give you some chance to move into the experience, but I also want to offer you, is there anything else you want to offer to the community before we go in? We'll have a chance afterward to answer some questions, but did I leave anything out of our conversation and that you feel is essential before we move to the experiential phase?
I'd say that these exercises should give your fantasizing ability to fantasize people laughing, people in your life that you want to see lighten up, or people that you want to wish well. You can image them laughing. And when you get more into your bliss body and your laughter body, it's easier for me, at least, to visualize and fantasize someone at a distance laughing, even if they're going through crisis. At least bring that balance into the picture of seeing where, a whole presence of that body is in that moment. So that you can use laughter as service, distance healing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So over to you, and I'll let you do your thing, man. Looking forward to this. So
I want to take a check on the time here. What time have we got to work with now?
Levi, what are we, about 15, 20 minutes to do the meditation? Is that what we're looking at? 20 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Am I right? Do you want to chime in on that, Rebecca? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can do a good 25 minutes and then 5 minutes.
Okay.
And everyone who hasn't got their camera on, please turn it on for this part, because it's really powerful when you see lots of faces laughing. So you can mute yourself. We'd love to see your face.
Well, greetings to everyone here now tuning in. Thank you for investing this wonderful opportunity to loosen up, lighten up, laugh it up, and let it go and let it flow. And to buddy up with number one, yourself, to use laughter and breath and intention to come all the way into the present moment. And we're going to start off with a laughter that is designed for the head. If you place your hands on your head, both of your hands on your head. If you got more than two hands, place all of them on your head. And I want you to use your voice to vibrate your head. Send some tones, soft, gentle tones, maybe only you can hear, into your brain. Move it around inside your brain. Just coat and massage your brain with your tone. Now gently let that tone become imaginary laughter. Create a kind of laughter that's just as sensitive and intimate as that tone. Yes, we've just said hello to our brain, and I'm sure the brain has some questions for us. What are you doing? It feels good. So, before we go further, we want to remember the play zone, the play element of these exercises, that we want to maximize the play. And as I stated earlier, a definition of play is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. Can you say that with me? Play is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. Again, and this time let your feet reflect what you're saying. Play is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. Let your legs reflect this. Play is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. My hips, Play is the spontaneous expression of sensation. My torso and shoulders. Play is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. My shoulders, arms, elbows, hands, and fingers. Play is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. So our head, play, is the spontaneous exploration of sensation. And here comes our water body. Just tune into the idea that these physical bodies are mostly composed of water. Just play with the water body. Play. The spontaneous explosion of sensation. And that brings us to the voice. Each of us repeating this phrase, play with the phrase. Play. And totally relax the body. We come to keep these playful movements in the next exercises. You're coming to the throat, right about there. If you place your hand around your throat, there's a thyroid in there. And we're just going to vibrate our throat with tone. And let the body be in a water body mode. Vibrate the entire throat. Sending our inwardly mobile tones. Groan and moan if you have to. Now let those tones become a throat-specific laughter. There we go. That inner child is awake and we're loose and lightening up. We bring our focus into our chest area. Yes, this is chest, the total chest. Feel it. Place your hand on your chest and bring some sound from your voice into your chest to vibrate your chest and let those tones move around. Just the upper chest. The water body's still active. And let these upper chest tones become an upper chest laughter. Just baptize your chest. Yes, I feel we're all doing just splendid. Yes, we're transforming the nature of isolation here. If we come to the lower, the abdominal organs, the abdomen, you get a nice massage and activity in the massage. Jillian, the massage of the external is very understandable, clockwise. Just do that for a moment. Just feel your and imagine that same massage energy and intention is now penetrating inward to all the organs in the abdomen. And to help that massage go on in there, we're going to invent tones and then a laughter that accommodates that inner smushing and mushing and massage. Water body is still on. Ah, ah, yeah. By this time, your neighbors are curious. So we come to the smile. We don't want to forget the smile. Smiling is natural for laughter. And believe it or not, there's a therapeutic smile, a smile that if we hold it for, say, for 15 minutes, we can reverse our mood. There's a take home for you. And by holding a smile, we can activate the happiness center in the brain and release things like dopamine and other wonderful hormones. And this particular smile, once it's called the Duchenne smile or the therapeutic smile, is temporary wrinkles on the sides of the mouth, temporary wrinkles on the sides of the eyes. So we get this kind of a smile, a therapeutic smile. See if you can see it. See that smile? That's what I'm talking about. You know, so see it again. All right. Well, sometimes if you do it too much, it changes the nature of your face. I'm going to do it again. Wow. Whoa. What was that? So we have the therapeutic smile. I'm going to count from 1 to 10, and we're going to bring our face from a deep, relaxed place. You relax your face. As I count from 1 to 10, let your face come from 0 on up to that intense smile where the corners of your eyes are little crinkles and the sides of your mouth. Breathing natural, body is relaxed. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here comes the sun. 6. I'm happy to see you too. 7, 8. Now hold that smile for 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and slowly and gradually release that smile. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, now we have just put time in on one of our most precious items, our smile. You know, when we do FaceTime, when we do Zoom, yeah, and Google Meet and all these wonderful other opportunities, when we do selfies, that smile is really valuable. And we've just put in some extra energy in our smile. Now I want us to take our smile just totally out, just bring it as bright as we can. Fill the place. And just for the heck of it, sing this mantra with me. It goes something like this. Just imagine we're looking at everyone who's on this webinar with us, that we can see their faces, and their faces are bright, and we're going to sing this mantra as if everyone can hear everyone. It's, I have come to see your smile. Ready? It's, I have come to see your smile. All right, just visualize your smile. It's being received by everyone, and everyone is receiving your smile. It's, I have come to see
your smile.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So we've done the head, the throat, the chest, the abdomen. We want to take a look at the heart now for laughter. You know, during these times, the heart gets challenged, and you might start asking questions or start doubting things. You know, am I okay? I've been alone for so long, and it's okay to do. And when you think about the heart, I want to tune into your heart at times and just check in to see, hey, heart, how are you doing? And you think of how does the heart like to be treated? And you think of peacefully, gently, kindly, lovingly. I'm asking us all, where we are, to invent a tone or use a common tone on our voice that represents peacefulness, compassion, gentleness, and let that tone travel through our throat, our chest, into our heart, putting our hand over on our chest and our heart. And just feel that, acknowledge that tone is traveling into our heart, a tone that we're intending, an inwardly mobile tone. Just saturate the heart, baptize the heart. Tone baptism. And then let it shift into a laughter that's still as sincere. Let a little bit of the water body come in. Oh, yes, El Yamo. So here we've got the lovely exercise, this laughter sizes that we can play with them in the morning before getting out of bed. And in the case of musicians, in the afternoon before getting out of bed. We work these exercises. We work them, and we can do them in the bed. The dog or the cat can be there with us. Our significant other, our significant sameness can be with us. And we can do these exercises in the bathroom. We can do them in the car. Do them anywhere that we feel we have a moment to ourselves. And we can modify them so that they are less disturbing to those around us and benefit us. We can pep up our self before getting online for a Zoom meeting or a talk. We can bring our energies up with our laughter. We can soften our hearts with our laughter. We can open up our field with our laughter. So we want to look at now the lungs. During our laughter release, lungs contain something called, have you heard of alveoli? Alveoli. It's little grape clusters in the lungs that trap air. And they release air, especially in rigorous yoga exercises or deep breathing. Stagnant or stale air gets released. So with the laughter, we can intend to let our laughter be a total reventilation, circulation of air by taking in as much air as we can when before the release. Hold it. And then with our eyes rolled up and the tongue extended, you just bring your hands to rest on your knees as you release. And again, inhale as much breath as you can. More. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. Oh, why not? One more. Inhale. Hold, and release. Whoa. So we're going to go into a quiet zone. I'm going to do some music, but before we do that, we're going to go in through the corridor of our own laughter. So that I'm going to give you a cue with the tingshaws, Tibetan tingshaws. That cue is sort of like your morning or your afternoon alarm clock going off, in which time your eyes are closed, but you do some stretches and you find your way into your laughter, find your way back to your laughter, inwardly mobile tones, vibrating areas of your body, and then tracing it with laughter. And invent, if you forget some of these exercises, how they go, invent and keep the intention of using your voice to cause laughter to radiate and baptize your interior. Okay, and when we're going to go through that for about a minute. We're just going to do the blitz of laughter. Then I'm going to invite us just to be still wherever you are with eyes closed, and I'll bring forth some contemplative music. Okay, eyes closed. When you hear the sound of the tingshaws, just radiate your interior with your laughter. When you hear the tingshaws again, let yourself come into deep, comfortable relaxation. Oh. Deep relaxation. Deep, comfortable relaxation. Total body. Breath is relaxed. Breath is communicating our deeper relaxation state. Total chest relaxing, shoulders, arms, elbows, total hands. Torso is relaxed, head is relaxed, face, total face relaxation. And down through the neck. Oh, yeah. Softening, opening, letting go, allowing flow. loosening up, lightening up, laughing it up, letting it go, letting it flow. Down through the chest again, releasing the shoulders again, the arms totally relaxing. Letting go, yes. Letting go. Yeah, that's it. Breath is easy, the abdomen is softening. Total belly, abdomen, soft. Ah, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Feel the hips releasing, opening, down to the hips, groin, buttocks, softening, thighs releasing, down through the legs, easy opening, total feet relaxing, ankles, toes, all the toes, yeah. And one more, the skeleton is relaxed, total skeletal relaxation, skin is relaxed, hair, bones, total relaxation, just be here now. When you are ready, find your way, invite your way back into the body. Feel the toes, the legs, the arms, entire body, all the way up. Legs, hips, buttocks, torso, abdomen, shoulders, arms, elbows, hands, wrists, alive. Released, loosen up, livened up, lightened up the neck. Head, smile, eyes, ears. Inhaling deeply, very deeply. Holding and releasing. Inhaling again freely. And releasing with the freedom and the authority of a laughter. One more inhalation, deep inhalation. And release. Yeah. Where'd Frank go?
I'm right here, buddy. I'm just floating away on a field of laughter, you know.
You're Frank. You're a transformation.
Yeah. Somebody said, I read a quote last week that says, fields of flowers are God's way of laughing at us. So I'm just floating away in fields of flowers, man.
Beautiful. Yes. All looked good, sounded good. Yes.
That was great. Thank you so much, Laraaji. That was beautiful and enlightening in a new kind of way. And there's a couple of questions from the group that I'm gonna ask if we're settled and ready. For any of you who have to roll off, thank you for joining us. But if you have a question, please put it into the chat. And I see some are coming up, so I will catch them as best as I can. So the first question: if you see somebody crying, what's a way to get them to laugh? And I guess another part of that would be, should you try to get them to laugh? You know?
That's very, very wise. I'd say be careful about invading their space. Let them release, hold space for their laughter. You might breathe yourself. I wouldn't advise you, well, just check out the situation, to touch or to hold anyone. You're blocking, you're interfering with their release in their moment. After a substantial release, you feel out that your breath should represent a more relaxed state. I don't necessarily go into laughter unless they are a laughing workshop graduate and they know about transitioning from crying to laughing. But that's a sensitive area you have to be with whether it's a child, whether it's your police officer, whether you got to get careful how you handle that. The first rule is be careful you want to fix it. That's what you want to do. And that's what you don't want to do. I learned that by doing crying meditation, that it's okay to cry. And by doing crying meditation, I empowered myself to not feel uncomfortable when someone else is crying. That's probably what we want to do. We want to fix it so that we can feel better. But let that person have their release, their full release. But I mean, if there's something causing it, like there's something heavy resting on their foot, you can go and release the pressure from their foot. If you can do something to release the anxiety producing environment, to soften the environment. But most of all, be careful not to invade, be present, and breathe more relaxed. Just breathe. And you might even, if you feel inclined to chime along with, I understand, let it go. But don't try to fix it. That's my advice. Don't try to fix it. It's fixing itself. That's let it go, let it flow. Now, later on, they might feel lighten up, drink a cup of tea, and you might be able to access your laughter body gently. And that's, I'd say you'd have to improvise and be intuitive in a situation like that. And if you're a musician, you should have some intuition going for you. First rule of thumb, they they might not need fixing. They are fixing themselves right there, that release, and to support it, to allow it, not make them feel wrong or out of place for doing it.
Great, that's a great answer, and the sensitivity is recognized for sure. There's another question: is it normal to feel like your laugh has changed with the added stress of the pandemic world? Or it's harder to find laughter in things that used to be funny to you, but you don't. So how do you bring that back?
How do you bring back? I like one thing. Leonard Bernstein was quoted saying that when times get radical, musicians' art must get radical. And so when you find that today's situation is probably normal, it's normal for evolution. It's a crisis that's giving us an opportunity to birth ourselves into another evolutionary platform. Some of us feel that, some of us have heard it, some of us don't know what to make of that. But so, once again, you can use your laughter. I use the music to get outrageous in my improvisations, to go deeper than maybe I've gone before. And I've gotten into polyphony, polyharmonies together to represent the confluence of the cosmos. In other words, to leave being totally absorbed in the local earth dimension and fly out into the cosmos with sound. Get a cosmos. I said, get a job. Get a cosmos. Just open and feel your cosmic spaciousness. So you're not into three-dimensional claustrophobia all the time. Feel your cosmic allness. And once again, each one of us has a way of approaching that kind of practice. But in view of things that are going on radical now, you got to laugh harder. And a more radical laughter now is inwardly mobile laughter, where you're actually using your laughter to lift yourself up, to loosen yourself up, and to vibrate yourself. And it's not just laughter that's a cause of an outer effect. You're not throwing your breath away. You're actually involving yourself in your own balancing and wellness through your laughter. So more radical laughter. And the comedians don't help me today. Comedians don't match this. Comedians, they're local, they're earthbound, they're geocentric. They're not taking me out into the spirit realm, not into the where I can release and feel the more expansive self. That's what has. So we're talking about cosmic laughter, and such a laughter would be you knowing yourself that while you're laughing, you are the universe, and you are vibrating everything inside of you. So you're laughing for the whole universe. You transform your laughter from laughing at a comedian or comedian to you are laughing as a function of self-absorption, self-validation. You're validating the whole cosmos through your laughter. So there, you go into outrageous laughter.
That's great. I got a couple more questions. And again, for anybody who's going to stick with us if you can, and for anybody has to sign off, thank you for joining us. But the first, there's two more here. But how often do you recommend doing a laughter meditation practice? Daily? Is it weekly? Is it
I recommend
all the time?
Well, for 7 days, try a 15-minute one if you're brave enough. For every morning, every afternoon, wake up for 7 days, try it, and get your feelings about what is contributing to you. Is it opening you up as a person who laughs, can hold space for other people's laughter? Is it improving your singing voice? Is it giving you a sense of lightness in the world? And then you say, hey, yeah, I want to make this a practice on a daily basis. It is work. And if you commit yourself to it, I think you can get more out of this than taking $1,200 out of your bank account and flying to Mexico for a retreat. I think you can give yourself that vacation going inwardly. And that if you would repeat that question again, that question was, how often? Yes. Yeah. So try a 7-day period. And during the course of the day, I can get myself into the laughter zone, to find myself chuckling, and I'll remember to harness my laughter and bringing it in, so I don't just throw it away. I'm bringing it in and transforming it into inwardly mobile, inwardly stimulating laughter. I mean, I might catch myself laughing and then I'll send it into the head. But these can happen in the course of a day. I can have at least 5 to 13 episodes regarding who's on the phone I'm with, or if I'm tuning into the news, or I'm checking out Pandora. There's some laughing opportunities there. But I can get into the laughter zone and then will self-cause laughter. I may be standing alone somewhere and waiting for a bus, and I'll just gently get my abdomen to chuckle. So I say, do it when you find the hang of doing it, self-activating laughter. You may find that there's great value in doing it as often as the world news tries to invade your space.
That's great. So, all right, Gil, this is a 7-day laughter challenge. Who's ready to take it on? One more question I think I have here, and this is a good one for people with kids. A lot of people have had to do their work from home that didn't have to do it before. Kids are in front of screens, and it's not the healthiest space for them to feel free and play. So any tips for parents to do this kind of work with kids? And this one says, especially a somewhat surly 11-year-old.
Yes, well, you'd say the key to getting children to go along is to frame what you're offering in the context of play. Let's play a game. And of course, if your kid says, "Oh, Mom, I heard that before," then you got a problem. But if the kid's open, if the child is open, you can get into play. Let's play with our water body. Let's play with our breath. Let's play with the feeling of gravity. Getting to the play zone. Let's play with our breath. Let's play with whispering. Now, if this is too elementary for the child, if you want to get into the play zone with the child, one thing you can do is your voice will trigger or deactivate. So, gentle voice, talk to the inner child within yourself. So while you're talking to the outer child, you're actually vibrating your inner child's fire. Hey, sweetie, what's up? Hey, what do you feel like doing? Oh, yeah. So you can look at your voice, your vocal tones, and your body language, and so that you're providing a sort of a safe, comfortable psychological environment for the child. And already the child feels like hanging out with this energy. Hey, hang out with Mom. Whoa, what's up, Mom? And then again, intuitive, creative intuition. How do you get you make up games you can play. I said play with the sensation. Think of sensations that are going on immediately for the child. Especially if you're walking outdoors, of course. You're walking through a tunnel, play with the echoes. And play with your body parts. I mean, so far it's the legs moving. And be creative.
That's great.
Your voice, yes, let your voice connect with the child.
That's great. We have one more question came in. Rebecca, are we good? How are we doing here? Great. Keep going. Okay. So Sarah asked, I believe, what's the best balance between using breath versus the voice during the exercises? She found herself losing air quickly during the practice, during the workshop.
Oh, really? I'd say you can laugh even without the breath if you get into. So it's a question of the volume, the sound volume that you want to be playing with. And if you think of these exercises are mainly inwardly mobile focus, you can probably use a lot of breath for minimal sound. So a very interpersonal kind of laughter might be a suggestion of how to go with it. Of course, if you're going to let a lot of air out, then we're questioning, are you working inwardly with it?
Great. Thank you. That's the last question I have on deck. Is there any last tip or anything you want to share with our community before to keep us laughing and to keep us healthy as we move out?
Remember, if there are musical creatives present, there are some, that in my case, when I get good at willing my own laughter, I can sublimate it. I can bring it up and sublimate it. I mean, I can be at the piano while laughing and bring that joy out through the piano, that looseness, that openness, that lightness at times. Or if I'm interacting with people, I don't have to be visibly, obviously laughing, but I can access the laughing spirit. And if I learn how to do it, but first getting familiar with it on my own, and then accessing it in creative situations, lifestyle situations. And so I'm saying that you become sort of like a planetary worker. You're moving the energies around the planet, a higher bliss-centric energy, and that you are helping others to feel a lightness. You become an environmental lightness for others. You do it on the telephone with a telephone call. Somebody's stressed out. You can be silently running your light in your bliss body so that they have a lighter field in which to release their expressions.
That's great. I think we're about ready to wrap up, but I want to thank you for your just beautiful sharings and your radiant energy and the joy that that comes out of you. It's just, it's exuberance, and it means a lot for us to come together in this feeling. And we'll carry it on. The 7-day challenge. We got it. The 7-day Guild Laughter Challenge is happening.
Yeah.
You started it.
Yes.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So I would want everybody to unmute themselves, because in thank you to Laraaji, we're going to give him a laughter salute. Count of three. So everybody unmute themselves. Come on now, people. Participate. Okay. And then on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome, man. Laraaji, that was so fantastic. We can't thank you enough. I want to thank Frank for doing a fantastic job getting us through that with Laraaji. Really, really, really well done. Rebecca for putting this together. The Guild of Music Supervisors, the East Coast Committee. You guys all know who you are. Fantastic people that come up with these things. And we had some people participate today. Ricky Askin, Sarah Tabachin, Kristen Genovese, and Jonathan Zalvin, who were kind of laugh. They were what we would call plants. They were laugh plants, but we didn't need them.
And well, Theekson.
And so, listen, if you enjoyed that, we're coming again next month with our panel, a wellness panel on the 18th. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We appreciate you guys attending. Hopefully you get something out of these things. This is what the Guild does. We try to provide a broad thing for our members, a good understanding of not only career, but of life and the health and everything else. Anybody has any questions, anybody has any problems, if you need any help in any way, shape, or form, you reach out to us in the Guild, and we will do our best to see how we can help out in any way, shape, or form. So I want everybody to be safe. Stay safe out there. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys again next month. So I think that's it for tonight.
Keep
again,
laughing.
Thank you, Laraaji. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Roger.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.